that is here, welcome. I'm getting ready to get this set up on Instagram Live as well. So hopefully we can get that connected. I think we are there. All right, there we go. Okay, welcome. Hello, hello. I am Eden with the Connection Effect. I am here with Seder. She is a small business owner with Mystical Thoughts Shop, and she's going to share a little bit about herself and what she does, how she practices within her small business, and how you can connect with her. So thank you for being here, Seder. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you. How did you get started in this cool little business?
So I guess I'm an art school dropout. So I went for a couple semesters. It wasn't for me. I realized I probably wasn't going to make it through the school system. I wasn't a big fan of it. So I started looking for alternatives that weren't like a 9-to-5 teaching job or something like that. And I've always done art, but I wasn't satisfied with just painting or drawing or traditional art. So I started wire wrapping about 1.5 years ago, and I started off with, I can show you guys these rings, these little wire wrapped rings, and they're super fun to make. And people always were telling me, you need to sell these, you need to sell these. And I started, and it really took off from there. Everybody's loved everything. So it's been really fun, just kind of holding on for dear life as it goes.
Yeah. So isn't it cool that you get to just create whatever you want out of whatever you want?
Yes.
And just use your imagination. And yeah, I love that. And this type of business model, you also use recycled treasures. I mentioned that a second ago, how I personally think of, first I thought of reclaimed, but you said recycled, and you know, there is a difference. So do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so our most popular product that we started with was recycled teacup candles, and we would hide crystals or rings or pendants in these candles that we would get, and we would melt down wax from candles at the thrift store. We would almost always be able to find brand new ones that hadn't been burned yet, which was crazy. We got enough to make a big stock of them. And they sell out really quick, and they're our most expensive items. So that's crazy.
Wow.
They're really pretty. They've got little crystals and herbs in the top, and each one, the herbs and the color correspond for a certain like metaphysical property, like love or money or good luck, stuff like that.
Wow. So I guess I wouldn't have even thought about that, using those recycled treasures to also relate back to metaphysical properties, and then how we connect to one another. So that's really cool. I love that. Obviously, the connection effect, near and dear to my heart. So, so tell me a little bit about you. So you said that you started out in art school and decided that was not the path for you. How did you get from that point specifically to deciding that you need to follow another path?
Okay. So while I was in art school, I kept running into issues that other students didn't seem to be having. Like, I could never seem to find where any of my homework was. I could never find my classrooms. I was always lost. So it wasn't even the school issues that were giving me problems. And long story short, about 3 or 4 months ago, I got a double diagnosis of autism and ADHD. So it wasn't my destiny, I guess I would say, to go to school. It just wasn't how my brain's wired. I can't do normal school. And that led to kind of a big, I guess, a moment where I just kind of had to say, okay, I have to reevaluate my entire life, because my plan was go to college, get a 9-to-5, and be done. And now I have to figure out something else. And I didn't want a boss, so I started thinking about ways I could do something creatively and also be able to make money off of it. And I kind of brushed off jewelry for a long time, just thinking, well, there's no purpose, like it doesn't do anything. And then I realized, well, it does do something. It makes you feel pretty, and if you find it beautiful and you can wear it around with you, I mean, it's like tattoos, it's art you can carry around with you.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me. That was enough purpose, and I've been going with that ever since. It's been going good.
I love the story of overcoming some of the obstacles of being at art school, trying to find your way through, and then also just kind of using the talent and the skills and the abilities that you already had, and applying it in a different way, but then also using that as inspiration, for other people, because how I met you the first time was at a workshop a couple of weeks ago, right? And I didn't wear my necklace today because it's so hot outside and I sweat so terribly.
It is.
But I remember as you were teaching us how to do it, you were, the language that you were using, and just how creative that you allowed us to be as we were creating our own little pendants. And yet at the same time, the colors and the techniques and the materials that we're using, it's all different and unique, but then, it all works together. So, that really, it inspires me, to take what I have, my knowledge and my skills and my abilities, and use it in a creative way, some way that also helps other people. So, yeah. So tell me a little bit about who you are. I know personally that you kind of grew up around here, but do you want to share with the audience a little bit about you?
Yeah, I was born and raised in the Springfield area. I moved around a lot here, so I've lived in all the parts of town. I know it pretty well. I live right now with my husband, my dog, and my cat. Kind of near the art museum. I love my little neighborhood. It's so cute. I go to Phelps Grove all the time. But I grew up going to a private school here. Grew up very conservative Christian. Kind of stepped away from that in college. No hard feelings, just wasn't for me. And then moved kind of into a phase of, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, and I don't know what I want to do, and I don't know anything at all. And it was really confusing for a long time.
Yeah.
But I'm finally getting into a groove, and I've got a plan now, and I know kind of what I want to do. I'm the oldest of now 8 siblings. My mom just had a baby on Friday.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, welcome Arbor to the world.
Oh, well, congratulations on another sibling.
Those are both of my parents on Instagram.
Oh,
Right there.
I love it. Awesome. So you're the oldest of 8.
Yes.
And now you're navigating the world as a small business owner and entrepreneur. Do you have any other communities that you're a part of, or are there any kinds of groups that you are, actively working within?
As of right now, not so much. I did kind of do a couple events with Cassie and the Femme Mastermind group, which is an awesome group. You guys should check it out if you have a business and you're a female in the 417 area.
Yeah.
But that's been really cool. Just from that one networking event, I've gotten professional headshots done with Talia Castle Photography. She's awesome. I've gotten an invitation to join an event in July for a yoga studio. Like, all these opportunities. I'm having to say no to people just from that one group. So that's been really, really cool.
Yeah. Isn't that cool though?
Yes.
Networking opens you up to so many other possibilities, and connecting with other like-minded people allows you to really explore opportunities and options that maybe you didn't even know were out there.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I am actively a part of the women's empowerment groups, and also the feminist masterminds,
Oh yeah, that's where we met.
Yes,
yeah, the mastermind group. Great group. Great group.
So and that one, and then also within kind of the spiritual healing network within the community of Springfield. But I actively seek people that are like me, but also offer opportunities to connect in a way that I have not personally ever experienced. And so when I reached out to Seder, I was looking for something different. I'm a life coach. And so we talk about empowerment through courage and self-development and things where we really dive into things, but then also looking for opportunities to work on ourselves. And so Seder has this product, the many products, many things that she does and that she offers, but also taking a look at how she got here and what it is that really affirms your purpose and your mission in life, and to kind of connect with people on a deeper level. And so that's really what connected me to you, what compelled me to reach out. And so I think maybe something that I'm curious about, do you have anything when someone is maybe wanting to explore some of the things that you offer, or wanted to know a little bit more? Are there things that you want to suggest or that you might offer for someone that's just starting out?
Yeah. So if you're interested in crystals in general, my Instagram page, I do give a little bit of a rundown on each of the crystals that I have. I do a lot of research on each of my products that I have. So my phone's reminding me. But if you were wanting to know about the world of spirituality, I'm very new to this world as well, so I've got lots of references. My number one resource that I've used that's given me a lot of really useful knowledge is the podcast called, I'm gonna cuss this out here. It's called Spiritual Shit by Alita Lovely. And she is fantastic. She has a lot of really interesting guests on her show that share some crazy, insightful perspectives and has opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't know, I just didn't know about.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to be able to hear all these different perspectives from people. So
yeah. And I would love to know your perspective as someone who has just recently been diagnosed with something that it may have a stigma, prior to being diagnosed, but then how you are navigating it throughout your daily life and, even in your small business. How does that look?
Yeah. So I've had to, specifically when it comes to my business, I've had to kind of pick and choose a lot more what works for me and what does not work for me. Because what might work for somebody with a neurotypical brain may not work for my ADHD, might be too disorganized. I might need something more strict. And then just navigating in life, it's kind of, once I got that diagnosis, I already kind of knew something was going on for a long time. So once I got that diagnosis, it was kind of like big weight off my shoulders. I was like, I gave myself permission, basically, which sounds really weird, but I gave myself permission to be as weird as I wanted to be and do whatever the heck I wanted to do. And if that also really catapulted my business forward because it cemented the idea that, okay, I'm not going to be able to do the 9 to 5 thing. I've got to figure something else out. So,
yeah. And that makes me so happy to hear that you are accepting yourself. And it was like a weight lifted off, because maybe now you have answers, which means you also can have solutions your own way, not necessarily trying to conform to other standards, the 9 to 5 job or that role, trying to fit within that little box that sometimes society creates for us. So I'm glad that it was a weight lifted, but also that it gave you that freedom.
Yes.
That's really important. And so that makes me also wonder, and kind of coming back to your business and how you relate to other people, have you had an opportunity to connect with other people that may have a same diagnosis, or even trying to navigate the world in a similar way that you are?
I have not had too much contact with other neurodivergent business owners, just because both of those pools are really small.
Yeah.
So there's not much overlap that I have found personally. That being said, if you're a neurodivergent business owner, please reach out to me and we can talk, because I need some friends. It is cool now that I have the diagnosis, how many other specifically women are coming out of the framework saying, oh yeah, I have autism too. So that's been really cool. I feel like more people should be open about it, but it's up to each individual person. But The business owner community has been really, really inviting. I've been finding a lot of community in that. It's just so new still. So
Yeah. And so you said that you've been doing this for about a year, your small business, Mystical Thought Shop. But you've only been sitting with the diagnosis, the official diagnosis, for what, 4 months is what you said?
trying to think. April 18th.
Okay.
So
About
like
2
months.
Okay.
So it's fairly fresh, but I've known since November. So
Okay.
it's been a good solid 6 months or longer, 7 months. So I've pretty well adjusted to it, and I'm still learning more and more. But I haven't got to really fully explore what that means yet. I just don't know much about it yet.
Yeah.
Still learning.
Yeah. I think where I'm wondering where my brain is going, what would it look like? Maybe if you are someone out there considering opening a business, and you know that you have these obstacles, these things that may present some kind of drawback, and not necessarily a drawback in the way that it is not going to hold you back, but that you're just navigating the world in a different way.
Adapt.
Yeah. What are some things that maybe you could share with people in that way?
Yeah, I think having somebody to keep you accountable and keep you on track would be really, really important. So I know there's free business mentor services out there, but me specifically, my sister and I started this business together, and I would not have been able to do it without her in the beginning. And she had a really great experience with the shop too. It just became kind of a very natural transition where she wanted to focus on other things, and she was finding out that doing small business wasn't exactly for her, which is totally fine. She moved on to do other great things. And I was realizing that this is what I want to do for my life, and I was wanting more freedom. So I kind of stepped up and took the role in that way. But having her in the beginning was essential. I wouldn't have been able to do it by myself. And I think it's very helpful for anybody to have an accountability partner doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what about some of the things that you use for your business, some of the materials and some of the techniques that you are either that you knew or that you learned along the way? How did you come about learning those things?
Like, how did I find out about business?
Like how did you go about creating like your rings or using the materials that you're currently using, whether it's the jewelry or the recycled treasures? How are you learning? How are you gathering information and then applying it?
Gotcha. I spend way too much time on my phone. That's probably the easiest explanation. Pinterest. I just like to go on there, and I probably don't even save that much. It's just the scrolling and seeing so many ideas flash by that eventually a huge collage of them piles up in my head, and I've got an idea. And same thing with Instagram or TikTok. I'll just sit there on a particular hashtag and scroll and look. Like, for example, when I was looking at these, how to make these wire wrap rings, that they're very common. People make them all the time. And that was what I started out with, because there's plenty of tutorials out there. And I just watched so many tutorials until I made a kind of mashup of all the ones that were my favorite. And I have now a very unique style, I feel like, that I haven't seen anywhere else, just because I took so much inspiration from so many different sources.
Yeah. So you took something that you saw, gathered all of that, and then made it your own, created your own style, your own techniques. And I think that that's important. That's kind of where I was going with, if you are a business owner or someone that has an idea, just trying to get it out into the world and having that unique approach, and then also coming into something new that you're trying to navigate and trying to learn how to, incorporate yourself into your own business in a way that is still authentic, and you're still using your craft and your skills and just building on that. So yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I know what you mean now.
Yeah. So I think I would love to hear you share, if you have any kind of words of encouragement or words of, anything that if someone is wanting to connect with you, I know that you're going to start doing a couple of other things here in the near future. So you're welcome to share that for sure, so that people know how to reach out to you.
Yeah. So the best way, if you are like me and you just want to message me somewhere, Instagram, I will almost always respond. Facebook Messenger, probably not the best, but I will respond. And then I'm gonna start doing workshops in the Springfield area. It's still very new in the making, but I thought I'd put that seed in everybody's ear. So the workshops would probably be really cheap and affordable. We'd be making things like rings or pendants. And those would take place at local venues here in Springfield. So keep an eye out for those. They're coming soon. As soon as I find a venue, basically, we'll be good to go.
Yeah. And do you host are you going to host the workshops, or are you going to have someone else request to host them?
I think I will be hosting the workshops myself. I really like that aspect, and I've always been kind of a take charge person.
Yeah.
As much as introverted as I am, it's weird. I will step up and take charge and teach a class and
Yeah.
sit.
Yeah.
So I was going to be a teacher initially. So my initial dream was actually to open my own art studio. And that's kind of shifted, and now the business has kind of come into a circle, and I'm back to where I can get in kind of a workshop studio mindset.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be hosting those and I'll be teaching those, and I'll probably provide all the materials that you need to.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I definitely want people to reach out to you. So if you want to share your Instagram information again.
Yeah. My Instagram username is mystical.thoughts.shop. And right now it's a tie-dye logo, tie-dye in white, or Mystical Thoughts Shop is the name. And then Facebook, you should be able to search Mystical Thoughts Shop and it should pop up as well.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with anyone, or?
There is one more event next month if you guys wanted to come, July 23rd, the Hardcore Flea Market. It will be a hardcore show, so you've been warned. It'll be really, really loud, but it's going to be really fun. And we had a blast at the first one in May, and this one's going to be so much fun. So if you're local, you should definitely come see us.
Yeah, and where is that going to be?
That's going to be at the parking lot for Ozarks Printing Company. If you go look up my page, there's details on there as well.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you kind of let everybody know who you are and how to get a hold of you. Is there anything else?
Not that I know of. I'm always down to chat with you guys. My business is still very, very small, so I see everybody's messages. I still do a happy dance with every single order. So I'm really excited to start connecting with more people in the area, especially if you own a business and especially if you're neurodivergent, because there's not very much overlap. So I'd love to meet everybody.
Yeah, and I think that would be a great opportunity to share that connection, learning more about yourself as you're connecting with other people. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I don't have any more questions. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really honored to know you. I wish the whole world could know you. You're so sweet.
Me too.
So to everyone out there that's watching, thanks so much for being here. And please reach out to Seder if you have any questions, or if you'd like to take a look at some of her products. She's already mentioned her Instagram. I can tell you personally that it's good quality, it's great stuff. And definitely worth looking into. So until next time, I will see you later.